Hello. I'm so grateful that you're here today. Look, I don't know if you know what it's like to have someone who is just cheering you on and hoping that you have an exceptional life, but I want you to know that I do, and that I have full confidence that you can grow and learn in wisdom, in knowledge, and be an incredible source of goodness, inspiration, and motivation to yourself and to the world around you. Now, I get an opportunity to visit with thousands of you every week and to hear your concerns and successes and questions. And one thing that I often hear about from you is how your friendships and relationships are going. And today I'm going to give you a tool, a real framework, a working model that will allow you to be more understanding and, to be honest, a little more successful in your personal, school, and family relationships. Now I'm about to drop some powerful knowledge in your hands, and it's really important for you to understand, and I want you to pay some close attention here, that the knowledge that I'm about to give you is not meant to be used as a weapon. This knowledge isn't meant for you to start throwing judgment rocks at someone because their attachment style happens to be secure or anxious or avoidant. I'm giving you this powerful information to help you to raise your insight, your awareness about your attachment style and about the attachment style of others. I also need to let you know that as I begin to describe these attachment styles to you, that none of these styles are meant to be pathological. What do I mean by that? I mean that whatever I'm going to describe to you, and I'm going to describe some of these styles as anxious and avoidant, that doesn't mean that these individuals are sick, or that you're sick or unhealthy, or that we should be mean to ourselves or others about whatever style they possess. In addition, these styles or tendencies aren't chronic. They're not eternal. That means that we can learn to function better within our own style and to work better with the style of others, which over time, in a way, helps us to be more successful in our relationships. Okay, one more quick thing. This short podcast isn't about teaching people how to become more secure or to have that secure style in their attachments. It's about helping you to understand how to function in relationships and friendships with people who may be in a secure attachment style, or an anxious attachment style, or an avoidant attachment style. With understanding always comes compassion. With compassion comes better and gentler behavior. And with that behavior, we are more successful. I hope this is making good, solid sense to you. So let me give you some very quick definitions that I think will immediately give you a sense about your current style of attachment. Once again, this doesn't mean it can't change, or that as you continue to experience life that it will change. First, the anxious style. People who tend to have an anxious attachment style love to be very close to their friends, to their family, and to their love interests. And they have the ability for great closeness and love, although they often are afraid that their friends or partners don't wish to be as close as you would like to be. As a result, a lot of times these relationships consume a ton of mental and emotional energy for these people. They tend to be very sensitive to small changes in their partner's moods, in their actions, whether they call or don't call, or whether they text within the first 5 minutes or 2 minutes. And sometimes their senses can be accurate that something's wrong, but a lot of times this leads these individuals to do things and to say things that later on they regret. I think about this anxious style as someone who has a very sensitive radar to anything that can endanger their friendship or their relationship. And because of that, they spend a lot of time worrying and asking for reassurance from their friends and romantic interests, always wanting to know where they stand. Anyways, I hope that's a decent description of that first style. Second is the avoidance style. People who have an avoidance style feel that it's very important for them to maintain their independence and their ability to manage their own life, and they often prefer this autonomy to really close relationships. Even though they want to be in relationships, they often feel uncomfortable with too much closeness and tend to keep their friends, family, and love interests at an arm's length. People in this particular style don't spend much time worrying about their friend or romantic relationships or about being rejected. They tend to be pretty private and to not open up to their friends, family, and personal interests. When people who have more of an avoidant style are in relationships, they are often very watchful for any signs that they're being manipulated, controlled, or that they're losing their freedom. The third style is secure. People who tend to have a secure attachment style feel at ease and comfortable being in warm, caring, and close relationships. They like to have close relationships with friends, family, and love interests, and they're not overly worried about the status of the relationship, meaning that they feel confident inside their relationships. These people often take things in stride when it comes to romance and don't get easily upset over friendship and relationship matters. They can talk about things, and they're usually pretty responsive to the needs of friends, family, and their love interests. They're usually pretty willing to talk about their successes and their struggles, and they're available to be there for people in times of need. So my guess is that as I was reading these to you, right, you were able to recognize that there's a predominant style to you. It's also important to know that even just the awareness of these styles, and this is why I'm so excited to tell you about this, just knowing about them, the increased understanding can lead you to feel a little more secure, understanding, and confident in your relationships, regardless of your personal style. The main point in providing you with this information isn't to turn everyone into a secure attachment style, or to feel guilty or weak because your style is somewhat avoidant, or perhaps because it's a bit anxious, or to judge others based on their particular style. The key here is that with some work and by paying attention, we can recognize that people have certain styles. And if we're willing to work with these individuals, we can run our relationships in a more honorable, gentle, kind, and in a better way, a more effective way. So for example, if you're in a relationship with someone that is pretty secure in their style, and you're somewhat anxious in your style, you're going to be worrying about where you stand with that person a good portion of the time. And you're also going to be worrying about all the possible obstacles or threats to that relationship. So his friendships with others or relationships to other people will all look like threats to you, because they could take that partner, they could take that attachment. And so what happens is that anxious attachment person reads that carefree nature of the securely attached person as, well, they just don't care. They don't pay attention to me. I never know where I stand with them. They don't put me first. And that securely attached person sees the behavior of the anxiously attached person as, they're smothering me. They're too clingy. They're always doubting my motives, and they don't want me to spend time with other people. So you can see, right, how this can begin to create problems for these two awesome people, right? Who are trying to make it work, but in the end, they end up doing things that trigger each other. So by understanding one another a bit better, they can realize that their friends or partner's behavior isn't intentionally trying to hurt them. They're just doing whatever they can to protect that friendship and relationship. I hope you know what I'm talking about. I hope I'm making myself clear, really. By helping you to understand other people's styles, you can think in terms of solutions instead of just being bugged, irritated, or taking everything personally when your friend or love interest asks for some space or independence, or if they ask for more time, or if they're not concerned about the state of the relationship all the time. So why am I telling you all this? Well, I thought you'd never ask, really. Theories on attachment, they're very well researched, and there is a ton of evidence that shows that the quality of your personal, family, school, and especially romantic relationships in your future will have a tremendous impact on your well-being. In fact, if you've ever listened to my other podcasts, you would know that the greatest predictor of long-term wellness is the quality of your relationships. So my hope is to help you to become a relationship master instead of a relationship disaster. My hope is that by increasing your understanding, that you'll be able to skate through your relationships in a confident, beautiful, and honorable way. And here's my final challenge to you. I would like to encourage you to be the kind of individual who creates a safe and secure place for others, regardless of your style. Be aware of the styles of others and be kind to them, realizing that not everyone is the same as you, and that just because they show and manifest their love in a different way, it doesn't mean that their way is wrong or that yours is right. So my dear friend, this podcast is all about giving you the knowledge so that you can apply it. And when you apply it, you'll be displaying wisdom and setting yourself up to succeed and to help others succeed. What are your thoughts about this? I would love to hear your opinion. I'd love to hear your thoughts. You can text them to us. And if you have additional questions in the future, ask us so that I can continue recording these podcasts and so that they can be relevant to you and your questions.